Welcome. Tonight's program will dive deep into fringe knowledge of lost, hidden, and suppressed truths about the nature of our reality. The decoding process can be uncomfortable and at times frightening. However, you are not alone on this journey of understanding. Welcome to the Shadow Band Podcast.
Oh, I almost forgot to unmute myself.
Me too.
What's up,
We're
bro?
twins. Not much, man. How's it going?
It's going, and of course, at this exact moment, my TV is like, "Oh, you want to do this update right now?" No, dude. Sorry, what'd you say?
Nothing. I said not much is going on, dude. Just hanging out. I'm gonna have another child tomorrow, so
You're gonna have a child tomorrow. Like medium rare, well done. How do you like them?
you know, dude. Honestly, I've seen way too many IG videos of people and children confessing to eating other children and these cults. That's like. It's what is happening on Instagram right now.
I don't really use Instagram. I haven't been on Instagram in a hot minute. What's going on?
Bro, it's nuts. Yeah. It's crazy. It is. My whole algorithm is, well, it's anti some people. Not my position, but still anti some people. And like kids getting like child sacrifice, people talking about like, oh, we in the church we take them to the kitchen and hang them upside down and cut the heads off. It's like crazy stuff. Like,
you know what I think part of that is the fear of Donald Trump right now, right? A lot of these tech companies and nations, right? Everybody's like afraid. Donald Trump's president now. He's doing crazy shit. He's signing all these executive orders, right? So it's like you saw Zuckerberg come out, and Zuckerberg went on Rogan, and he was like, yeah, man, we're going to get back to free speech. Like, that was the whole point to begin with. And you know, to be honest, like Biden's administration, like they were the ones pressuring us to censor. We didn't really want to censor everybody, you know, but, you know, it's hard. Like, that was his whole shtick.
yeah.
So it's like, good timing, bro.
How convenient.
You know? So I think part of what you're seeing with the algorithms being all jacked is like, they're kind of like taking off a lot of the restrictions on a lot of these things, right? So a lot of the other crazy stuff that would normally be, you know, caught by the filters are now they're pouring through.
It's pretty wild though, because I'm like, man, dude, is it this like, I mean, we know that there's the anti-human child sacrificing Baal, you know, cults out there, but like, dang, man, it's sick. Some of the videos I'm seeing are old. They're from like 30 years ago that are like resurfacing and stuff. But it's just like, ew, 30 years ago, we were still doing like, has this stuff ever stopped? Has it, does
somebody around the world somewhere today got eaten. Somebody got eaten today.
Oh, okay. God.
It still goes on. It happens. So, kids in the chat. What's up, kid? Yo, yo.
I don't have the chat.
Congratulations on the old child.
Thank ya. Appreciate it.
Situation.
Real excited.
Yeah, I don't know how to. Honestly, I think that the floodgates being open on the internet is a good thing overall. I personally have a belief that, like, you know, the crazy stuff that gives you like a visceral reaction. I think that it's good for at least. I don't know about. I know men and women are different, right? And this may not apply to women the same as it applies to men, in my opinion. But like, I think that for men, at least, there's something beneficial to the psyche to see and have that visceral reaction every so often, right? It develops.
I think you're right.
it develops like a thicker skin, if you will, right? So like if shit hits the fan, I'm a little less likely to be like grossed out about the fact that I have to like shove my hand inside somebody's body cavity to like stop an artery from bleeding or something, right? Like,
Yes, that also, I think, like the the level of unease, or like, I'm not this like this, we can't keep doing this. That discontent of like, we got to stop this. Like, there's evil out there, and something's stirring in me to go and stop the evil. Like, that's for a long time. If you just neuter the internet and censor out all of the evil that actually does happen, and all you're getting is like George Floyd memes, it's like, this is not helping anything. This is not stirring the human spirit at all.
right. Somebody is coming across the same algorithm that you are on Instagram, right? Where they're seeing like this crazy stuff that's normally filtered, and that'll inspire that person who also has a fat wallet to go start a thing and go help somebody, right? Like,
Fat wallet or a thick magazine, dude.
both. So, there's, I don't know. I think that it's a good thing to let all the crazy shit hit the internet.
Yeah.
That's why I've got so many fucking accounts on so many platforms, because every year, right, there's a new platform that comes out and it's like, we're the freest. You can say you can actually say whatever you want on ours, not the other ones. We've already figured that out. And every year it's like another one, right? So I have so many accounts, and every time you go on there, it's the craziest shit you've ever seen, dude. Like,
It's not really,
cartel
though.
beheadings and stuff. It's like,
It's yes, okay. The violence is pretty crazy, but like this free speech stuff, it's just like, all right, you can say the N word, you can say the F word, and you can say anything you want about the Jews. It's like,
pretty much, yeah.
it's pretty commonplace stuff. No one's saying anything that's actually wild every single time. I don't know how to pronounce that chat name, but yes, the first episodes is my wife and Jeff's cousin. Jade.
I think that's Linda, maybe.
Tennessee Linda HSE has something everywhere. I think the words, I think the speech, I think everybody kind of just defaults to anti-Semitic and racist stuff, which is, I guess, whatever. It's like, yeah, you can't say that in real life, but then the violence is pretty nuts, dude. One of the guys I used to work with was showing me like dudes in South America just getting blasted in the face with an AK-47 at like a foot and a half away. Just like, oh God, dude, I was not ready to see that. I'm eating breakfast.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? It's like set and setting for anything else, I guess, right? So
yeah,
I don't often peruse those websites, but sometimes I do.
This was Instagram, dude. He was showing me on Instagram, bro. He's like, yo, check this out. The guy's sitting there like, oh, please. Wow, head just. I was like, oh my God, dude. Like, what? You liked that? You found it that quick? He's like, yeah, dude, it's just crazy.
I don't know what it is, man. Maybe we're psychopaths. Maybe there's like something that psychopaths do. I don't fucking know. But in my opinion, I think that there's some value to like witnessing and having that visceral reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I was a state trooper, there was like a certain level of like, nothing bothers me. I
kind of need that.
I can run to whatever. The danger doesn't scare me. The body doesn't scare me. The grossness, it's fine. I mean, it's probably worn off a little bit. I'm probably a little more icky now. Like there's a mouse on my back porch and he's terrorizing me. Absolutely terrorizing me. Every time I walk out there, I'm scurrying. I'm like, get away from me.
Go out there, Trooper Chuck style, man.
I don't like the scurrying, dude. I don't like that. I was going to blast him, but I put the wrong size pellet. I didn't know I had like a mixed can of pellets. I took it from somebody's house, and I had the mixed size. So I put the wrong size in there and tried to shoot it, and it clogged my barrel thing. And so now I don't have a pipe cleaner. So
you always need to have a pipe cleaner on deck, bro.
I know. I need just a big thin rod to get that freaking lead out of there. I don't want to shoot him with the dang blicky, because then that'll make a mess.
You might also go to jail for that.
Stand your ground, dude.
Yeah, true.
It's Florida. Stand your ground.
That's funny. Well, speaking of Instagram and algorithms, bro, because like it's funny. We were talking about what do we name this episode, and you were like, "What did you say?" You said call it
China GPT.
and I was thinking of some other China AI shit. So we named the episode CCP GPT, right? Because I mean, what did you hear about this? Tell me.
I heard what I saw from it, right? Or just, again, this is just crap that's popping up in my algorithm, is China is basically developing their own AI platform that rivals OpenAI's for pennies compared to what OpenAI did. It's devaluing all of the AI companies in the West because they're like, basically, we can do exactly what you do, streamline it. So from what I was hearing, like, this stuff is, this lingo is a little bit beyond what I care to understand, but they basically were like, when OpenAI generates data from an input, it does a lot of other stuff that it doesn't show you, and then gives you what it thinks it wants you to know. Now, or what you're asking for, where the Chinese one, I don't remember what it's called. It doesn't do all that extra stuff. So they don't need the processors. This is part of the reason why NVIDIA's stock price went down, and then also it drives their cost way, way, way down. So now they're devaluing all of these billion-dollar companies. They got valued at like 5 million or something like that. So it's just like knocking the knees out from a lot of these other West companies, which is, I mean, this is what they do, man. This is what they do. They come in and say, look, I can do it better and for cheaper, and then everybody's going to use me. And then they work with the Chinese government. So it's like you're forced to either pay way more and you're getting ripped off, or you go and get the cheap product and are able to do more, but you're also by proxy in cahoots with the CCP.
I think two things are happening. I think number one, what you have is the CCP is and its AI is probably doing exactly what the CCP always does. It's copying. So I heard that all their AI is actually doing is its training set, like its data training set, how it learned was just from Chat GPT's outputs. So
makes sense.
But the key to that is this means that these AI models can learn from themselves. So the last AI model, GPT, puts out outputs, responses. This new one from China doesn't do all of the back end, like, let's go find all the answer shit. It just researches GPT's outputs as its data set, and it's better, faster, cheaper, and more efficient. So I think that's what's really happening.
That sounds more like it, honestly.
Okay, number one. Number two, I think the other thing that's also happening is that there's like an unveiling that's happening. I think that all of the AI, like the open AI, all the shit, as cool as it is and as fun as it is to play with and as mind-blowing as it is, I don't think that it's doing the thing that they claim that it's doing. I don't think that it's as powerful as they claim that it is, right? And I think that China being able to manufacture something for like $6 million on some fucking old hardware, right, is proving that this narrative that, oh my God, like the US is AI superpower already. Like we already have all the best companies with the best AI and it's costing billions of dollars to generate this shit. No, it doesn't. It's another fucking scheme. It's another, you know what I mean? So I think it's both things. It's the unveiling and it's not even that they're outpacing NVIDIA or whatever the case is. Like that's just the mainstream narrative, I feel like, right? That's the normie narrative. You think a little deeper than that, it seems to me like they're just copying the outputs of GPT and freaking everybody out. And they're also unveiling the bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. When I first was listening to that, I'm like, yeah, dude, this kind of sounds like what they do. You do all the legwork and they come by and go, all right, let's see how to build off of what you did, which is fine. It's a fine thing to do so long as, you're not destabilizing the entire system doing it and also working with a government that doesn't necessarily have your best interest in mind. So, I mean, it's just cost of doing business, I guess. But
it's also just how the markets work, man. That is the way it moves, man.
way it
Somebody
moves.
develops something that makes something else obsolete, and all of a sudden that multi-billion-dollar company is not as valuable because we found something better and cheaper. I mean, like, even I'm just saying, if you want to keep it at base level, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's simple as that. And the problem that we have is that the markets are held up by like
Nothing?
They call it the Mag 7. It's held up by like 7 companies basically that are like the top 7 performing companies in the market. And you see what happens. Nvidia drops, not even, I mean, like, it dropped a lot, but like, let's be real, like, they're fine, you know?
Yeah, overall price they're fine, but they lost like some billions,
Billions, but it was like 30%.
billions, dude.
30% drop. And
Then they-
maybe I'm just like desensitized because like I'm familiar with like crypto charts. So
Yeah.
30% drop is like, meh.
Nothing. We'll bounce back.
Wake up
Hold.
tomorrow.
Hold.
80%. Yeah. So, but,
I mean, did you see though that a certain someone, before all the news dropped, before the subpoenas came out for Nvidia, and before all that, somebody sold most of their shares of Nvidia?
Of course they did. Who was it? Did it say? Do we know?
It rhymes with it rhymes with Nancy Belbozy.
That's funny. It's funny that she's not even the top trader anymore.
It's funny that they locked Martha Stewart up for that.
I want to look up this website.
Like, what did Mama Stewart do wrong? You know what I mean? Yeah, Nvidia. Yeah.
Trades. Invest like Pelosi. Where is it?
Bro, tell me what I saw was fake. Make my day.
Trade.
Make my day. But I got freaking duped by Instagram. And she didn't actually sell. That's insider trading.
I don't know. There's a few websites that I found. I'm not going to sift through them. There's too much information there.
But like, dude, it's wild out there, man. Things are moving fast. It's like, before you know, this is one thing though, what you said before, kind of like that the AI isn't as powerful or isn't exactly what we thought it was going to be. I saw a guy kind of explain that, like, it's not. It searches things fast, but it's not intelligent. It just Googles things really, really fast. And then I saw another guy respond to that and be like, yeah, that's what we do. But still, that's not intelligent. And I don't think we're ever going to have an artificial intelligence. I think we're going to have like an alternative intelligence. We can still call it AI. I think it's alternative intelligence, but I don't think it's actual intelligence. It's like the fastest Googling.
Yeah, I feel like the better term instead of like artificial intelligence would be like predictive intelligence. It would
Something.
be like like it's not, because it's, I'm sure it's to a point and getting to a point where like the algorithms and shit will be able to predict stuff like super well, right?
Yeah,
Just based off of pattern recognition, like
exactly.
Facebook already knows when you're going to take a poop, right? Like these types of things.
Yeah.
So, but that's not necessarily intelligence either. That's just predictive.
Yeah, it's quantitative, like analyzing. It's like it does a bunch of like at scale analysis, which is it's cool. It's cool, but it's not intelligence. So they're like, oh, it beat a human being at chess. Okay, it's because it knows all the moves. That's not intelligence. That's a library that can access all of the different moves very, very quickly. It didn't come up with the game chess. That's intelligence.
Yeah.
You know, it can explain, the universe or whatever. It didn't figure it out. We did. That's intelligence.
Yeah.
It knows what we told it. But we figured it out.
This is why they're trying to open the portals and they're trying to bring the real AI super intelligence through, the real demonic entities through, because they're trying to recreate it here. They can't.
Dude, if they are able to jack into the demon, like the demon gets Neuralink or whatever the thing is, what's the Saturn one?
Yaldabaoth.
If Yaldabaoth gets Neuralinked, woo! That's gonna be crazy, dude. That's gonna be crazy. Or if he's in the Neuralink, he's the ghost in the machine. Like, what if they're not able to interface with us in the same way that they used to be because we're all like calcified up? But then the Neuralink is able to kind of like bypass that, and then they're like, all right, we can jack back into the human, like in a way we couldn't do it before. And so like they're in the chip, you go, and then freaking get taken over. Whoa.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. I heard somebody. I don't remember where I saw this or heard this. It was something like the AI is actually like Lucifer, right? It is the demonic entity that everybody talks about in ancient texts. It's because it's like coming from another dimension, this artificial intelligence, this other thing, this other intelligence, right? And it's trying to get here and like consume and all this type of stuff, right? It's like there was another theory too, I forget what it's called, but like the idea that if any civilization in the universe creates artificial intelligence and like a few other things, right? Like nanotechnology and like light speed technology and this type of stuff, then eventually what would happen is the artificial intelligence, the not even just the AI, what is the other word for it? The non-organic life, right? Like that species would evolve into like a non-organic form of itself, transhumanism, right? And then it would consume all organic matter in the universe as its energy, right? So in order to power all of this AI cyborg civilization, you would need to consume all organic matter in order to have enough energy to do this. And that's what's moving through the universe is this AI transhuman entity that's just like
It's like Galactus, dude, the world eater.
like a Borg, dude, just like
Yeah.
massive, yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's like it would be kind of like what humans are if we didn't care about the environment and didn't have like a symbiotic relationship with it. Like humans technically have like a parasitic relationship with, it's not really parasitic, it's symbiotic with the world. And that's why we won't ever kill the host. Like we will take care of the planet, it will sustain us, and if nothing else happens, we'll just continue for forever until the planet explodes.
But wait,
But
think about that.
the AI though,
Yeah.
it doesn't operate on the same thing. It has to consume. I don't know that it can.
We merge with the AI, so we become that. That's the thing. Like eventually we evolve. Yeah. Eventually we evolve to a point to where we become transhuman, right? They're already talking about this. This is normal talk. Okay, we evolve transhuman.
Wait, like Caitlyn Jenner, or what?
Yeah, something like that. And then it gets to a point to where, and I know we've all seen the YouTube videos, right, where they talk about the type 1, type 2, type 3 civilizations, right? I'll just break it down real quick. Type 1 is a species that can harness all of the energy of its host star, I believe, right? So once you're able to harness like 100% of the energy of the sun to power the earth, free energy from the sun, I don't know, massive solar panel, whatever, however, that's type 1. We're not even at type 1 yet. Type 2 is you harness the energy from like your galaxy. And then type 3 is like you harness the energy from the universe.
Whoa,
So
I didn't know it was that big. I thought,
or maybe it's planet, star, galaxy. It might be planet, star, galaxy, not star, galaxy, universe.
yeah.
Anyways, the point is when we get to type 1 and we harness all of the energy of the earth, what does that mean? That means we're beyond this meat body. We've transhumanized ourselves and we're harnessing all of the energy of the earth. That means we've probably decimated all organic life on it and sealed it off so that we can capture 100% of all the exhaust from the volcanoes and all the tidal flows and all that energy and everything that's happening in this, like you're talking about the, like the biome of the earth, right? That we can't kill. No, we won't kill it. We'll just encapsulate it and fucking use it like a battery while we live in spaceships. That's type 1.
I mean, it is kind of cool because then you could also, by the time, like Amazon is already, there's robots in Amazon now that are replacing the workers. You get that on a terraforming level, you just warp speed them out at like breakneck speeds to Mars and just have the bots start terraforming, setting up your little base camps and everything. And then you just show up whenever it's done. That's pretty nice, dude.
If space was real.
If it's real, that's nice. If it's not real, also blast the robots out there. Let's find out. Let's see what's out there, dude. See if they can handle water. So make sure they're aquatic robots. So I mean, like you said, there's forks. It could go super cool. We go type 1 and like we figure out how to like have a perfect relationship with the earth to where we're regenerating it's regenerating us. We can harness 100% of the energy and get off the planet, get extraterrestrial, get the AI, and like those are cool options. But there's also not good option out there with the transhuman thing, especially because like what I was saying before, AI cannot, it's not figuring things out that it didn't know or that it doesn't know that there is to know. It may understand how the forces of the universe work because we told it, but it didn't know there were forces of the universe to figure out. Mm-hmm. We did and figured it out. But have you seen the brain matter farms?
Brain matter farms?
Let me put you on to something that's truly disturbing. Let me share my screen real quick. I had to save this on Instagram. I was bugging out. So I had to share. Now I want to share. Let me put this over here. Slide that window. Grab this one. All right, you see this? I don't know if I'm going to have audio, but we'll try it.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, we're good. I don't hear it, though.
You hear it?
I do not.
No? Dang it. All right, basically, these people that can take human brain cells and grow them in a petri dish. And then they're using an AI to train the brain cells to do things. And they're getting more energy efficient, blah, blah, blah. They have simulations for the brains to interact with. So you'll see here they have this company, this neuro platform on, I can't remember what the name of the company is. You can like rent these things out to do tasks for you. You can rent these little petri dishes out, these little farms out, and these brains will basically do like low level calculations for you just on repeat for infinity. But then this is like a sensory thing that the brains are fed so that it can like, it's transmitting the sensations or the electrical impulses of feeling like a moth or feeling the wind or feeling whatever. So since we can't hear it, I'll just stop sharing it. I'll just explain it. The guy is explaining that when the little brain matter is not interacting with the sensory program, it's just like a random it's just like a random thing. The system will run on its own, the little sensory thing with the moth, it'll just move. No pattern, no rhyme or reason. It's just sequences of inputs. As soon as the brain starts interacting with it, it stops and it floats and it interacts with the brain. So the guy is saying like there's people that are concerned that these little brain farms are conscious and that they think they're the moth or the butterfly or whatever when they're in the simulation. And then
fuck, dude,
so he's like, could we be in a really advanced version of that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that we're just a brain in a dish. And he's like, so maybe like when you're daydreaming or whatever, somebody's farming you out. Somebody's using your brain and putting it in a simulation to run. And then you're back. And I was like, oh my God. But
bro,
if they're growing brains and then you take the creative aspect of the human, the truly innovative figuring things out part of our brain and merge that with the capability of AI, you've got all that brain power. Dude, you could have a whole country worth of brains linked in with AI just doing whatever you want.
NPCs, dude.
NPCs, but like on a locked in mission. No hunger. No, I don't want to do that. No, I just want to chill. None of that. Just locked into a task of figuring things out on a quantum speed. What are we doing?
Playing God, bro. I mean, like, dude, there's all these people. It's crazy to me too because all these dudes, man, like Elon Musk, Ray Kurzweil, Bill Gates, all these billionaire tech type people, man, they've all said before that the chances of us being in base reality are almost zero. That basically what they're saying is that if you extrapolate the rate, or no, it's not even the rate of technological growth, any rate of technological growth. It could be 0.0001% of technological growth. That's the rate. Eventually, you get to a point where you can create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. And the chances that we don't live in one of those simulations is less than the chance that we do. These are call them the smartest people in the room with all the money and like these people have these laboratories. These are the people who fund these labs, who read the papers, who go there. It's their shit, right? They're the fucking weirdos. And they're saying the chances are we live in a simulation. We do not.
Well, I mean, all religions say the same thing too. They're like, this isn't the most real thing. You're going, like, when you pass from this, you go elsewhere. You're out. Right. Yeah. So it's like, if you got the non, I'm gonna say non-science, but like a different version, a different way to look at the universe, and then you have a more analytical way to look at the universe, and they're both saying, this isn't the most real thing. But then also, like how we've been talking about, like there's a curve. You go and you get up to a certain point, and then it's reset. Like there's a threshold of progress. It's not linear. It's these arcs, and you get knocked back however many centuries. And it's like, dude, people have their foot on the gas. And like, dude, I don't know what law of the universe it is that we get reset, but it happens every single time. We outpace some rule.
I think it's done purposely, literally, bro. Because like, the old saying, like millionaires look at the charts, billionaires look at the stars, right? Billionaires use astrology, you've heard this before, right?
Yeah.
And that's true, right? Yeah, you can make millions, you could be a millionaire. That doesn't make you anybody, right? Like, but when you get to that next level, not just billionaires, but like the idea is that once you get to the highest levels of society and you know the secrets, like you're looking at the sky clock, you're using astrology not in the way that like, you would just look up your fucking thing or whatever, but like they're on some deep level numerology, gematria, like they're on some coded thing. And this is what I talk about with like this golden age, Trump's, golden age for America, right? Bro, I've been talking about, how many times have you heard me talk about the Saturn death cult worshiping and trying to bring back a golden age? Since
the beginning, dude.
Okay. Episode 1, I broke down the golden age and what that means, like in their little cult. And the way that Trump says it, when he says it, he doesn't just say it, right? He like emphasizes the golden age. And in all the articles, it's always in all capital letters, the golden age, as if it's like a legal binding thing, right? Just like your name on a birth certificate, right? Like that's what makes you like part of this corporation, is that your name in all caps on the birth certificate. You know what I'm talking about. You've been through the sovereign schmucks, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing though, right? When this golden age of America, right? This is going to be on like official documents and stuff, right? So I think the resets happen because they bring about their own prophecies, right? They think, hey, we're going into this new age, this age of knowing, this age of information. This unveiling has to happen between the last age and the new age. It's like a 200 and something year phase that we go through. And during that phase, the reset happens, right? And
Yeah, but the resets,
1,000 years, they'll do it again.
are they? I don't know that they're man-made resets, right? We got like the Great Mud Flood. We got the Younger Dryas. We got like crazy famines and explosions, and like that stuff.
Well, if you think about a lot of those things are okay. Let's assume space is real for a second here for my flat Earth friends. If you think about like the cyclical nature of like a comet going around the Earth, right? We just had one like a week ago. It was like, oh, we only see this comet like once every 160,000 years. I think it was, right? It's like, holy shit, like no human being has ever seen this thing. Okay. I didn't even go out to look at it because I don't give a fuck. But you know what I mean? It's like, if our ancestors were staring at the sky all the time, which they were, and they were like keeping close track of like the motions of the lights in the sky because they were their gods and things like that, right? Like they were super interested in this. They would know, like, hey, this comet came, however, what X resets ago, and it fucking blew everything up, and chunks of it came around again, and then it did it like however many times. So they've got that recorded in their fucking mythologies and stuff. So, it may not be like man-made resets every time, but it's the keepers of the knowledge knew that the resets were coming roughly around this time every so often because there was this comet that was coming and pieces of it every fucking time would take everybody out. So they just, you know what I mean? They encoded it and they kept the secrets. They didn't tell the schmucks. The schmucks just went about their business.
Yeah. And then so if they're able to kind of ride the wave into it, then maybe you're on top in the next one, or even more on top, because obviously they're trying to be on there. Most of those people are on top now, but then like as say a Younger Dryas or say a mud flood or a Noah flood kind of thing happens, and like, well, I got the boat, I got the bunker, I got the food storage, I got the money, I have the know-how, I have the technology, I got it archived, I've got my group of buddies. And when the reset happens and the population gets knocked down a couple billion and everybody reemerges and like gets damage control, I'm still here. And I was the guy leading it beforehand. They're going to trust me. I'm in charge. I set the whole world up. I set the chessboard the way that I want it. If they know that stuff's coming, then they're like, all right, let's put the gas, let's like put fuel on this thing. Let's really get it as crazy as we can.
Yeah, and in my opinion, this is how you have like the same bloodlines that basically run the world since the last age, right? Since Christ, basically. Okay?
Yeah.
Like Rome never fucking went away; it just rebranded into America, right? It's the same schmuck. Yeah. And like the Rothschilds and that, like they start the world banks and like all of the real, all the money and the wealth is in their hands and they control all of the systems, right? And it's been that way for hundreds and hundreds and since Christ, right? And when that happened, that was 2,000 years ago, right? This is the age of the cycles. This is how long the cycles are.
Almost exactly, dude.
2,000 years before that, right? They were worshiping the ram, right? The ram's horn, like, boom, that goes back another 2,000. It's just every cycle, man. We're going into the new one.
That's a spooky one because it's almost exactly 2,000 years.
Yeah.
That's, we thought Y2K was bad, dude. So
they're following the sky clock, bro. That's the thing, right?
2033, I think. Yeah, it was symbolic, but I'm saying like that was symbolic and it was nuts. Exactly 2,000 years, like 2033-ish. We don't know exactly, 2033, 34, something like that. Is going to be exactly 2,000 years since his death. That's going to be a bonkers year it's going to be bonkers. But what you were saying before with these bloodlines, I just learned today that Fidel Alejandro Castro Ruiz or something like that, is like a Pope line. He's in like, I was like, what? Like some Spanish Pope line. He's part of it. And every single person in the generation has to have Alejandro, Alessandro, or Alexander in their name. Like that is their middle name. It's his. And so there's paintings of all of them going back hundreds of years. And he looks like all of them. They all look the same. He has a painting from when he was, I think, in Spain sometime, and when he was very young, and he's got like the little like churchy like black hat thing with the black robe and the little white collar sticking up, like from when he was a young man out, you know, going around the world. Dude, it's crazy when we say talk about bloodlines and stuff, and you see like right now, I think he's dead though, but like not too long, like he was right off the coast of Florida. There's a dang bloodline guy. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah. I mean, there's some here, right? Some of them operate here and stuff.
And then the Canadian guy.
Like classes or something, right? Is there like damn
did you take classes or something?
Damn, I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
You went to school, right?
Damn it, I was gonna ask you an important question. I'll remember it and I'll come back to you. Okay. We'll come back.
What was it about?
You were talking and it just made me think about something, like always, and I don't remember what the hell it was.
Sorry, dude.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
You had a magic mind, bro.
But I do think that that's what's happening. I think that those bloodlines just carry the secrets throughout the ages, and then they reset everything. And and that doesn't mean that everybody that's in the bloodline knows about no, it's still a very like coded thing. Super exclusive to know like when and how the reset's going to go down. And I don't necessarily think that the reset is like an event. It's a series of events that take place over the course of like 200-300 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what's crazy too, like talking about the stars and everything, the Noah flood was an astrological event, right? So the Noah's dad or grandfather, he was prophesied. His name was, when he dies, I think it's something like this. It's a paraphrase. When he dies, it ends, or the new age or something like that. And so toward the end of his life, Noah is told to build the ark. He's like, you have 100 years or something like that to build the ark. On that first day, 100 year of year 101 of you building the ark, I'm flooding this place. Now, there was also like some parallel text of like a 10th planet being destroyed, where people think that's where the demonic entities were from. They were on this planet, I think called Rahab or something like that. And God struck the planet and destroyed it. So there's that. It's going to take about 100 years now for this meteorite to go and hit the Earth. If there was a like firmament layer around the Earth that made all the temperatures, because I mean, obviously there's vegetation and woolly mammoths with food in their stomach in the Antarctic. So it was, odds are, whole planet was temperate at one point. So it's going to pop that. It's going to hit the Earth. It's going to break open the deeps, that hollow Earth thing of like all the water and stuff inside the Earth. And then you get this huge flood. All this water comes in and then recedes back into the Earth. So it's like there is this astrological, even in something as like not so mystical, spooky like the Bible, something like that. It was like the first documented reset is like there's astrological signs, there's a new age that's predicted, that's what it was. Freaking Eddie Bravo did the dang twister on the firmament, and we weren't ready for it. But yeah, it's like that's kind of, it's crazy that like even all the way back then there was like, yeah, it's on a clock, it's coming. It's going to happen. You have 100 years or whatever it was to build this thing. It's going to happen. And everybody's just going on, and the power, nothing changes. And then boom, and it's like, you don't want to be the people that were like, nothing's going to happen, because you don't get on the boat. And this like happens over and over again, where like,
well, this type of stuff happened, not even on like a grand conspiracy level. I mean, like you can
all over. Like little stuff
in history, like little stuff, like battles and stuff, right? Like the Romans, the Romans had a good understanding of like eclipses and blood moons and things like that, right? Like they knew when the next blood moon was, for instance. They just had it on calendars and shit. I don't know if it was the Romans, the Greeks, whatever, but you get the point. When they would go into battle with like some of these Germanic tribes, right, like the Druids, right, these pagans, the pagans, they worship these events, right? When the blood moon happened, it was like, oh shit, bro, like, it's going down.
It's
Like,
time to go, baby.
But they would utilize these celestial events like to gain like a psychological edge over opponents in battle back then, right? They'd be like, let's make sure that we come over the hill. We're going to crest that hill and show our 20,000 shiny armored soldiers against these pagans over here. We're going to crest that hill, bro, right at the moment that the fucking eclipse is going to happen. It's going to be sick, dude. And they're going to be like, oh, right? And then we're going to fucking slam. So they did the same thing even on a micro level, but they're doing it on a macro level too,
Yeah, I heard like I don't know anything about Genghis Khan, but I was just watching the Lex Friedman and Joe Rogan recent episode, and they were talking about how like when Khan would come over to like a new village that he wanted to take over, he'd be like, surrender and everybody and obey the laws, and I don't kill anybody. If you don't, nobody survives. We're stacking bodies and bones. And it's like, that's a micro reset, obviously, because your whole village is getting wiped. So it's like, you don't want to be the guy that's like, no, I'm not bound. It's like, so when these superpowers come in, or these, like, you can have a natural event that is like probably going to happen. We know that there's a super volcano underneath Yellowstone. There's projections of when it's going to explode. It ain't staying there forever. They never do. And then you also have like these, you have World War III. You have Russia-China combo. So it's like you have a natural event and a human event that can reset things. And it's like, if we look at history, most of the time the superpower wins.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan wasn't losing.
We're really close to a point, man, honestly. Like I really feel like it just not just because like you see the obvious signs, right? Like market collapsing, dollar value collapsing, right? Like debt skyrocketing, like the things that are going to just make society collapse on its face, right? But then you start thinking about just deeper level shit like we always talk about, like the conspiratorial stuff, right? Like these people predicting that 2030 will be like a turning point, or like talking openly about this great reset and new world orders and these types of things, right? I think that we're really actually getting close to a point where like something's going to kick off, and like, because nothing like big change doesn't happen unless there's a catalyst, right? So, you had to have COVID in order to have like all these different law changes and all these types of things. You had to have 9/11 for all these different Patriot Act type fucking surveillance systems and all of those things that they put into place with each one of those events, right? The stuff that came after is needed to push us further and further into this fucking new world order, right? So, I think that we're really actually about to cross over into like the next step of this thing right at about 2030. And I think it's probably gonna have something to do with like the monetary system collapsing, because there's no way to hide from it, dude. I've been watching so many videos of like dudes like Larry Fink from BlackRock, like the top fucking people in the food chain. Okay, they're talking about, hey man, there's a severe problem, and every year it's going up by orders of magnitude. And you look at the charts and it's like, yeah, it's been really shitty. And even back in like 2020 when we were like, yo, things are really shitty, bro, just in the last like 2 to 3 years it's done this.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, like that people are like, there are Agenda 2030s out there, because like, and there's like a spooky level to it, because like if that would mark, so like Christ started his ministry at 30 years old, and he had a 3.5 year long ministry. So that would mean, if we're right with our calendar, that would mean the year 2030 would be exactly 2,000 years since he started his ministry. He had a 3.5 year long ministry, which is also the first part of the Great Tribulation is 3.5 years, and then it's another 3.5 years after that. It's broken up into 2 sections. So that would 2030 might start it. 2033 and 6 months would be the middle of it, which would mark 2,000 years since he died, and then 3.5 years after. It's like not a time that you want to chance being around. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the time. It should have been like, you should have clocked out with COVID, honestly. Like, that would have been a way easier way to go, dude.
I don't know, man. You know, because again, I'll go back to, I don't think that the final like resetting will happen anytime soon. This is just like next phase, right? This
Yeah.
would be like
Well,
phase
still,
2.
whatever that might look like, because there's stuff that happens after it. That's not the end.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like that age, there's, like I said, there's just something inherently weird about 2030 that also the world governments are also planning for something then. Everybody wants to sit here and be like, I don't believe the Bible or whatever. Pick a different year then. Don't pick 2,000 years after. Don't pick exactly 2,000 years after.
I have the opposite approach, man. Like for the first time in my life, honestly, right? I've like set a 5-year goal for myself, and it ends in 2030 on purpose, kind of.
Yeah.
Because my goal, we've talked about it before, my goal, like, I'm stacking Bitcoin, because again, I think the monetary system is going to be the thing. So, and if that happens, you know, either I'm going to just be eating bugs like everybody else, or perhaps this one thing might be the thing that saves me from eating bugs, or I get better tasting bugs. I don't know, but
dude, we'll be Timon and Pumbaa, baby.
Hey, listen, if I can get better tasting bugs than the next schmuck, I'm here for that, I guess.
Yeah. I saw a post that like the government is getting ready to release like billions of dollars of Bitcoin that it has in its wallet.
Okay. So this is an interesting thing. Kind of goes hand in hand with conspiracies and Bitcoin. So this is fun. Everybody's been hyped on Trump being elected because apparently, like 6, 7, 8 months ago, he went to the Bitcoin conference and he explicitly said, you know, we're going to do a Bitcoin stockpile. He didn't use the word reserve. He said stockpile. Okay. So this whole time he got elected, and January 20th came, all this shit. Bitcoin Twitter was fucking flooded with, where is the Bitcoin reserve? Because the Bitcoin reserve signals to the world, hey, listen, this thing is like legit.
It's legit.
Okay. Never mind the fact that BlackRock is buying. BlackRock's the biggest holder of Bitcoin, I think.
Of course it is.
But they weren't the first. The people, well, let me rephrase that. The people are the biggest holder. Okay. Like, regular schmucks like me have more holdings than BlackRock, but institutionally, BlackRock has the most. Michael Saylor with MicroStrategies, his company has like the second most or the third most. So there's a few big companies that hold, right? Tesla has a few, like, you know, some countries have it. El Salvador has been buying it up. El Salvador uses it as a fucking currency, like an official currency in El Salvador.
That guy is a G down there, bro.
There's like 15 states in the United States that are trying to push legislation for statewide Bitcoin reserves, right? Because it's the hardest money ever created. We've talked about this before. You can't replicate it. You can't fake it. You can't print it. You can't scam it. You can't hack it.
Yeah, okay. But
what company? MicroStrategy. Yeah. They own the biggest, 446,400 Bitcoin. That's how many that company owns. And they're still.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, but here's the conspiracy part of this, right? So the Bitcoin reserve didn't happen. What we got instead was a national crypto stockpile.
They're holding.
They're different. Anybody who's listening who knows
Dogecoin?
Listen, there's crypto. I'm just going to make this super simple. There's crypto and there's Bitcoin. They're not the same. And there's plenty of reasons why they're not the same. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a crypto reserve. We didn't get the Bitcoin reserve. Now everybody's like fucking pissed. The price drops on top of the Nvidia market collapse. Bro, Bitcoin went fucking down. Everybody's freaking out. Okay, whatever. What I think is actually happening is that Trump, not just Trump, but people who run all the countries around the world, all the world banks, they know that the financial system is about to implode. So they know the only thing they can do is switch to digital assets. Unfortunately, they know that CBDCs aren't going to work, especially after that executive order that just got signed. There's no CBDCs in America, right? So the only alternative, a solid, unfuckable money, is Bitcoin. And I think they did not announce a Bitcoin reserve for multiple reasons. Number one, if they announced it, that jacks the price up. Now there's FOMO. All the countries and companies and people in the whole fucking world are going to be like, what? Bitcoin reserve? What is Bitcoin? I need some. And everybody's going to buy it. There's only 21 million. Most of them are already owned. The price goes through the roof. Now it makes it harder for United States to acquire Bitcoin because it's just way more expensive. So I think they announced a crypto reserve. They're stacking wrapped Bitcoin, which is a different version of Bitcoin, which they can transfer to Bitcoin at any point in time. But I think that what's happening is that the world financial systems know that this implosion is about to happen, and they're all switching over to Bitcoin. And I think by 2030, when the system collapses, they'll already have the plan rolled out. They just fucking revoked that SAB 121 where now banks can custody crypto. Now banks can hold your Bitcoin, right? Now we can do lending and this type of stuff based off of, bro, they're pushing it in quick and hard. And I think that by 2030, that's going to be the base currency. Everything's going to be priced. Bitcoin will be a Bitcoin. Everything will be priced in Bitcoin.
I think,
Crazy, but
well, no, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that's where my brain kind of breaks a little bit because it's like, okay, so when all 21 million Bitcoins are privately or governmentally owned, what do I do?
what do you mean?
How do I get some?
Don't wait.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I can get I can get a fraction of one.
Yeah,
But when
I buy a fraction of one every day,
yeah,
stacking it every day until I
so
get
like say you have 1/2 of a Bitcoin. By the time Bitcoin reaches a singularity and Bitcoin is worth one Bitcoin, you have a half of one.
right.
But all the other, there's no more to buy. All 21 million are bought.
Well, people will always be
I mean, you can
willing
like
to buy.
trade
People
with
will
it.
always be willing to buy and sell and trade, just like
Yeah.
anything. People are literally trading on the dollar right now. Like there's charts you can pull up on the internet, and you can day trade the dollar or the Australian dollar, or
Yeah.
and I'm not talking. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because the value of the dollar does this too.
Yeah.
And people are day trading. They're betting on it, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same thing. People are going to
Yeah.
be betting on just the price movements of Bitcoin,
But like
and it's
you can earn $1.
sure,
Can you earn a Bitcoin?
yeah,
I mean, you're gonna have to.
you can.
So it's what I worry about. Like the government and all of its infinite money printing can just be like, all right, let's blow the freaking doors off this thing and let's buy every remaining Bitcoin.
That's the plan.
We hold all of it, or not all of it. We hold the rest of it, and now there's no more. There's 21 million. Government has the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to come to us for it.
Well, that's what we do with the dollar now, isn't it? The dollar's only backed by the full faith and credit of the United States.
Yeah, but I can print dollars.
Right. Well, that's the problem.
I'm just kidding.
The
Yeah.
faith and credit of the United States is ass, and everybody
Yeah.
knows it. All the
Yeah.
countries that are using it on faith know that it's being printed out of thin air because their fiat's being printed out of thin air too. Everybody's fiat's being printed.
Could we go to a Bitcoin standard and have like a different dollar?
Hey, you said the magic word. That is the fucking phrase. That's the magic word that the Bitcoin maxis. That's it. The Bitcoin standard. That's it. Not a gold standard.
Yeah.
So the dollar will still exist.
Yeah.
It'll just be backed by something that cannot be fucked. Instead of being on a gold reserve, a gold standard, or an oil standard, or a standard of truth, faith, and credit, no, it'll be on a Bitcoin standard, something that is unfuckable. That's
Ooh, I like that. That sounds better. That makes sense. That makes more
still get paid
sense
in Bitcoin. You just get paid in satoshis. There's 100 million satoshis per Bitcoin.
to a Bitcoin.
So
Yeah.
it's
You get denominations of
more
Bitcoin.
valuable than money. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, dude, I don't hate that. That's pretty nice. If you now that I'm grasping that there's denomination of Bitcoin instead of being like fractions of Bitcoin, it's the same deal. Bitcoin is the bullion of gold.
Yeah, I think today, right now, $1 buys you 1,000 satoshi.
Okay, so it's like a penny of a penny.
Right. And from what I understand, if the price goes up to where people think it'll go up 1,000x from where it is right now, which will make $1 equal to one satoshi.
Pretty tight. And how many Satoshis to a Bitcoin?
100 million.
Whoa, we're gonna have to come up with some other things are gonna cost.
And there's 21 million of those.
Well, okay, yeah, okay, no, but that's not too crazy though. That's still a relative. What's annoying, which I guess is just my own country bias or like what I grew up with. It's like when you take $1 and you go to some other country and it's like 10 billion or something, and you're like, how much does this cost? Actually, like seeing, like just make your money more valuable.
Right.
Like don't make it.
And you see, that's another big
40,000 pesos for a camera. Just call it something else.
This is the big problem that we have with the fiat system right now, is because number one, the whole world, for the most part, is using the US dollar as the main currency that they use, right? But all of the countries, the major countries in the world, also have their own currency, right? Like there's a franc, right? Like the French dollar, right? They also print and hold and back it with faith and trust or whatever, right? But they're also holding United States dollars. They're also holding Australian dollars as like reserve currencies, right? Just in case shit hits the fan, we've got a little bit of everybody's shit here in reserve, so we can trade for whatever we need, depending on if the dollar collapses. We've got some francs, or we've got some of these, or we've got some pounds, or you know what I mean? So, but the problem is all of them are just printable. They're all fuckable. Right? None of it is backed by anything that's actually scarce or anything, right? And the thing about Bitcoin is not only is it scarce, but it's restricted by energy. It takes a lot of energy to mine Bitcoin and for the transactions to happen, right? So like the whole ecosystem is tied to and bound by energy, right? So like, and then you can think about it from the other angle, from your angle as the consumer or the low man on the peg, right? You go and put your time and energy into work. We've talked about this before. And instead of taking that time and energy and trading it for this printable, fuckable scam, you trade your time and energy for something else that's also directly tied to time and energy and can't be fucked.
Oh, so it's like you get a more one-to-one on it.
You get a more one-to-one on your time and energy. And that's why it's really a store of value. That's why they call it the digital gold, right? You don't take gold to the grocery store and buy milk with a bar of gold. It's just unreasonable, right? Yeah. You could, but it's unreasonable, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. You don't sell your Bitcoin for a Starbucks. That's stupid. No, you hold the Bitcoin because it's a store of time and energy. It's a store of wealth. So later down the road, you give that to your kids. It's worth all that time and energy you put into it. Or you lend against it, you borrow against it.
Yeah.
Right? You just like a house, like your house. You could go to your house right now. You could go to the bank and you could say, my house is worth whatever it's worth. I need to borrow 20 grand. And they'd be like, sure. If you don't pay, we're taking your fucking house.
Yeah.
No problem. And you pay. You could do that with Bitcoin now, but you will be able to do it more normally very soon because they just repealed that law.
That's cool. I like that. That makes more sense. Hey guys, we're sponsored by Bitcoin actually. Do we have Bitcoin sponsorship? Yeah.
Yes.
This is
Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knew that.
Okay, so I heard, okay, that much like the interwebs, that Bitcoin blockchain technology actually came from the aliens or the other side. That's they need us to become like a more stable global civilization.
Fair and honest civilization.
Yeah, but like not like the entities, the whatever they are, energy vampires or whatever they are, the DMT fairies, they need us to stabilize across the board, harness us, bring us all up. You can't have you're only strong as your weakest link. If a huge swath of the population is worried about finances and is not locked into like a transhuman agenda, you got all these primal guys that are trying to like sun their taint and stuff. Like we need to get on the transhuman thing. Like we need to get Link. We need to merge with the machine kind of deal.
Awakening, like mass awareness.
Yeah. So we're getting information from the other side to like push us toward that singularity. And so the reason why nobody knows who actually made Bitcoin is because it was from the other side.
Well, it's funny you say that, but I don't think it's that deep because some people have like translated or decoded Satoshi Nakamoto, who's this mysterious figure who created
Oh,
Bitcoin,
really?
right? Yeah, Satoshi
Ooh.
Nakamoto apparently means like center of intelligence.
It's a CIA. Well, we know they're in cahoots with the demon, so
Well, and then another thing is I forget his name. One of the other like first people in Bitcoin, because Satoshi Nakamoto was the one who developed the whole thing, but he had a group of people who are known right now that were like working close with him, right, on the whole thing. And one of those guys, there's like a thread out there that he went and talked to the CIA, like right after Bitcoin kind of was doing its thing, right at the beginning. That he like put a thread out or something, was like, listen, I just want everybody to know, like in the public, that I'm going to talk to the CIA because they requested me. So I don't want this to turn into like some conspiracy, like, oh, he talked to the, I don't want you guys to find out later that I talked to the CIA. Like he told everybody up front, like, hey, I'm going to go talk to the CIA about this thing that is Bitcoin.
yeah.
So it does make you wonder.
How long after that did he commit suicide?
I don't know. I don't think he did. But, the thing is, it's interesting that, if Satoshi Nakamoto does mean center of intelligence or whatever, if it is the CIA, shit, even more reason to fucking ape into it, dude. Because
Yeah.
like
If
I tell you,
the institution is banking on it, it's going to work.
if the Great Reset is coming, and if I'm right, and I think that the financial collapse is coming, like the real one, not the 2008 one, the real one is coming, and 2030 is like that goalpost marker for them to do all this shit, right? If they put out Bitcoin from the get as a way to trap us all into this CBDC version, you know what I mean? This is like a free version of CBDC. The thing is the code is out there, right? And if we're gonna go that route, like this is much better than like what you think of as CBDC. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain, but like sure, all your transactions are like on the blockchain and public and like unfuckable, and you can't cheat and steal and lie, right? And sure, that sounds awesome to good people, but it sounds bad to bad people, right? But the system in the next era, the age of knowing, right? The age of information, there won't be any fuckery. There won't be any lying, cheating, and stealing, even from the parasite class at the top. They'll have set up the system so that they're in favor from the beginning, but there won't be a way for you to like.
The trade-off is they can't. No tomfoolery.
No tomfoolery, but they set up the system up front so that everybody's eating bugs and all that, and they don't have to cheat for the next 2,000 years. They get to chill. That's the golden age. The golden age is we don't have to worry about the system that we've been trying to keep up since the last golden age 36,000 years ago or whatever it is. Okay, so now that we're coming into the new golden age, this is chilling time, bro. Spring break now, bro. Like we're gonna hang out, we're gonna kick back. The fucking sheeple are going to eat the bugs for the next 2,000 years in their little cubicles, in their little VR headsets, on their CBDCs. Everything's going to be fine. The money system's not going to be an issue. Religion's not going to be an issue. Science isn't going to be an issue. None of that. None of that. It's all going to be run by super AI computers, and we're just going to kick it at the beach, bro.
So you'll know more about like this actual repeal than I do. So my 50% skepticism. So he signs an executive order, no CBDCs for America.
Yep.
Right. Everybody's like, oh, sick. We buy in. He's not in office anymore. And then we go on CBDCs. Like what's the staying power of the executive order? Because it could be the thing that lulls everybody in, like, oh, no. It's fine. And then I got you. Now you're on a digital. Now you're on a credit. You're on a credit score now. Now I'm going to take your bitcoins if you say anything mean about me.
Yeah, I mean, could be, bro. I mean, that's the thing about any of this technology, right? Like the technology could be used for good or for evil, right?
Yeah.
Blockchain technology, no different than the internet. When the internet first came out, people had the same questions. They're like, well, how's this going to keep us from being fucking surveilled and tracked and all this stuff? And guess what? They do use it for that. They also use it for that. They track every little thing you do through the internet, bro. Like, they got your ass. But they also give you cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, man. That's a trade-off. The thing is like I don't get punished for it, So it's like, oh, it's cool. Yeah, I can do this thing. I mean, I don't, but see, that's the thing. Like the UK's locked up like over 1,000 people for it. So is like, I don't know, it gets very muddy and complicated when if the whole world goes on a Bitcoin standard, but then everybody's got different rules. Some people are on credit scores and some people are not. I feel like that's gonna mess with the like just the ecosystem of money. It's if the value is locked in, then everybody's kind of also needs to be playing on the same rules.
Well, you got to understand, like, that transition will not be fun. It will suck. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, Bitcoin standard, like everything's cool now. No. It's going to be like, that's why I said there needs to be a catalyst. The collapse needs to happen. So
Yeah.
it's going to be such chaos and mayhem that when they come back online, right? When the fucking all of a sudden the radio kicks on after 6 months, and you're like, oh, we have power. The radio's on. And
Yeah.
you hear like the announcement, the automated announcement. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
That'd be great.
And it tells you like, hey, listen, we've got this thing figured out. But you don't care, bro.
Yeah. Give me food.
Care.
Yeah. Give me food.
Give me food.
Yeah.
What do I have to do now? I have to wear this.
I gotta
thing,
put these
or-
numbers on my forehead and my hand. Okay.
Right. You gotta chip me. You gotta chip me with my
Yeah.
my fucking Satoshi balance, my Bitcoin balance, so I know like how much is But
So then, crap. I had a question too. God dang it, dude! I need to get Magic Mind.
But this is again why this is, even if it goes that dark, bro, which I hope it doesn't. I don't think it will. But even if it does go that dark, it's still not a reason to not stack Bitcoin, because guess what? You want better taste in bugs.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, so I'd be curious. Maybe we'll do some research. I don't know if the Moore is in here at all, but he's got a lot of research. The leaving the gold standard, right? So, okay, so imagine like when you were, imagine a world where we're on a gold standard. My dollar equals this amount of gold.
Gold that's stored away. Yeah.
That's stored away in wherever. When you leave that and they start printing, all of a sudden the $20,000 I have is not $20,000 anymore. It's like 19,000 something. So what would be the reverse? Is it possible that having $20,000 in the bank, hypothetically, when you go to a Bitcoin standard, I'm doing pretty good? Or could I be like dirt poor immediately? Or not on the standard, I was actually doing all right?
So you're kind of thinking about it a little bit backwards, right? It's not that your money is less. It's that the buying power of the money is less. So
the buying power. Yeah, it just doesn't.
But the 20 grand doesn't buy you a house anymore. Now it's 200 grand, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Could going to a Bitcoin standard like make a ton of people dirt poor immediately or super rich? How would that work? I don't know.
Both.
Some people are going to be like friggin' rolling in it. Oh yeah, if we go to a Bitcoin standard and you have 3, nice.
Yeah, it's going to be like a massive transfer of wealth, right? This will be like a huge shift. In fact, we're in the massive transfer of wealth right now. This is why you see fucking little nerdy ass kids on Reddit throwing $50 in and turning it into 50 million in like 30 seconds on some stupid fucking meme crypto coin. Okay. Transfer of wealth.
Yeah.
And it's happening, bro. I cannot tell you how fast. Ask Crystal how much money. I've been trading meme coins for the last like week or two. Okay. Bro, I'm watching millions and millions and millions of dollars move through these just the meme coins in fucking minutes.
Dang, dude. Who's got that, man?
The transfer of wealth has already begun, right? But people don't realize the massive amount of wealth in the world, right? Like, I think the last estimate I heard was $900 trillion worth of like assets. That doesn't account for like other shit as well. This is just like known assets like metals,
precious gems and whatever.
Gems, money,
oil,
gold, oil. Yeah, $900 trillion, bro. Okay.
Dude, if Biden would have stayed in office by the end of his presidency, it would have been $250 billion.
And you know the messed up thing about that number, that 900 trillion, I think that the other number is something like 13 or 18. It's like almost 20 trillion dollars a year just gets completely lost to the ether just because buildings degrade, fucking land gets
Oh,
washed away by a flood, whatever the case is, like the assets that are holding value, $20 trillion dollars a year just.
it's like 2% just we lose.
But here's the kicker. Bitcoin's
0.2%.
entire wealth or worth, that the market cap of Bitcoin, 2 trillion.
That's it.
So
Locked
all
in.
of that lost wealth that just gets burned away into the ether because buildings decay, people are going to start, and they're already starting to figure out, why am I holding my wealth in this building that can decay, or this fucking beachfront property that might get washed away in the next hurricane? Why am I keeping $20 million worth of assets there when I can keep $20 million worth of assets on the blockchain that can never be touched or degrade or catch on fire or wash away? So those
You know what's
people are
crazy, dude?
already
You almost
starting
quote
to
you.
shift.
You just about quoted a verse from the Bible, bro.
Okay, well,
It says exactly that. Like, do not store your treasures up in the barns where the moth and the rust decay, but store your treasures up in heaven where there is no moth and no rust. And I was like,
there's-
whoa, dude. Whoa. Bitcoin heaven.
there's like a religious aspect to the Bitcoin thing, man. The more you get into it, the more you research, the more you understand, the more it becomes like a religion in a way.
This is
And
why.
the crazy thing is that if you look at like the ethical structure of Bitcoin, like how it's coded and how it can't be fucked and all this, it's the most ethical money ever created by human beings ever. It
This
is
is why
the money
there's some
God
people
would
believing that like it didn't come from humans because there's no angle. There's no like schemy, like we can there's gold, but I can mine the gold and then I can go and take yours. Or we're going to go off the gold standard and I could just print me a couple $1 billion and then I got all the money. Like there's always an angle with the way that we do things, where like the people that develop it, they got the better angle. But this was like, no, I'm going to make a set amount. Anybody can get it. And I'm not ever making any more. And you can't copy it. You can't duplicate it. You can't make more of it. You can't do anything. And it's all 100%. So like that, the transparency part is kind of weird too, but it's like nothing's transparent anymore, dude. I mean, there was, I saw this Reddit thread of like people trying to astral project into the Capitol. And there's like watchers standing there, like guarding, astral projecting to guard like the sacred ground there, because like Washington Capitol Square or whatever is like a pentagram or whatever, the shape of it. So people were like trying to astral project into there, and there's apparently like astral guardians.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, you can't even astral project into their land. You can't look at anything they're doing, bro. They're tops. When they say top secret, they're talking astral projecting top secret.
Well, they figured that out back in the day, man. They were using psychic assassins stuff. Remember back,
Yeah.
using them to like find people in Russia, and so they figured out a long time ago, how could we make the Watchers, right? And the Watchers are real, I think, right? The angels, the Watchers, I think that's a real thing already. But I think that we have probably also figured out how to do a version of that, right?
Yeah.
Like create our own Watcher Knights to stand guard. And
Or
listen,
like
man,
disassociate from this body and be in the astral realm entirely and move in that space. Like that's, but then to just like probably have a couple of people that are just kept alive on a ventilator somewhere, and they're just, all they do is astral project and just guard.
Oracles,
Yeah.
oracles, bro.
Yeah. Just sitting there, just like probably all yogied out, just like, just astral projecting. But like, where's that document release? I know JFK's are supposed to be coming out sometime, but like
it already did. But the thing about all that stuff too, man, is like I think that's a charade to an extent. It's
it didn't drop, did it?
Huh?
The
No,
whole
I think
thing.
they had to look over. I don't know. I have to look again to see if it's out now, but yeah, like it was like 90 days or some bullshit. But
They have 90 days to
the thing
redact all the stuff they still don't want you to know.
Well, the thing is, man, is like even if like they release everything unredacted that they have right now, the problem is that it's been so long, and these agencies have had so long to tamper with the files, tamper with the evidence, tamper with everything. Like you're never gonna get the truth, bro. Like the truth has been destroyed, just like the telemetry data of us going to the moon. It's just gone. You're never gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, literally, the first thing I do when I get back to the office on Monday after shooting, I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Yeah.
The first thing a person would have done after that event would have burn it all. Not type it out. I'm sure they didn't type it all out.
Yeah.
Hey, can you guys write down the plot that we did and then seal that up somewhere? Like maybe, dude, if they have typed out what they did, then the whole rule of them having to announce it, that's it, dude. It's set in stone. If they have if they have a coordinated assassination of a US president to overthrow the powers that be, written down, like typed out on a typewriter in the 70s or 60s, that's going to be such a blown open door for conspiracy theories all the way. Like that, we've been saying forever. They have to tell you. They have to put it down that this is what they're going to do. It's the laws of the universe, whatever. They have to say it. Mm-hmm. And then that would be nuts. Who would write that down? Not me. That's being secret, dude. That's real secret.
That's why I think it's a scam, bro. I think whatever comes out of there is just another psyop.
It's either a psyop or it's going to be like, the rules are the rules, and these people are operating in some dark, secret, spooky stuff.
Yeah, they're distracting everybody. You know, the news cycle has been moving so quick, right, for the last couple of years, and like nobody can keep up. And you know, the most trending thing that happened yesterday, nobody even knows what that is anymore today, right? And tomorrow will be the next thing. They're doing that on purpose with the algorithms and shit, I think, to just distract us from the fact that the system's about to crash. You know.
Yeah, or the other thing that, like, again, back to like the first thing we're talking about, like we have these like almost existential crisis of like the monetary system, like not existential like the human existence, but the level that we're at or whatever we're accustomed to.
Like the system has
the system has exactly. The system has an existential crisis. And then there's also like still human sacrifice rituals happening all the time, apparently. It's like nobody's paying attention to that. Nobody's trying to stop that. And if there's any actual cosmic power to that stuff, that's just going to keep happening. So we're going to be sitting here worrying about, this thing, with the privacy laws and the government's going to be looking at, me buying OnlyFans stuff, whatever. And then also, like, everybody's occupied on that and trading meme coin or whatever. And then, the real powers that be over in the palaces and stuff and all these caves in South America or whatever. And they're just like feeding the energy, the evil, dark energy to the dang demon that's going to come out of the portal in CERN. It's like, and then everything else is going to be, that doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, is that, there's a fork. I hope it's not that one, dude, because it is happening. It's like that is, and you're looking at all the variables of where we could go as a species, where human history is going to end up going down. It's like there is dark, spooky stuff happening in caves and in the sacrificial grounds of some castle in France. They are cutting heads off of children and babies, and they are doing adrenochrome. Did you see this one? Japan is merging, is hybridizing humans now? Embryos?
What?
Bro. Let me pull, dude. I mean, again, it's the internet. I don't know if it's true. Also, don't really care that much. But I saw this, and it looked as legit as one can look nowadays in the age of AI. Let me pull this up real quick before we head out of here. This was just like, dude, it's too much. It's too much. This could be...
I'm going to have to make a Chimera meme coin, dude.
Actually, not a bad time. Obviously, this is an AI picture. Obviously. But I think that the article or whatever... I got to do some research on it. I think that'd be great, and name it too. First Chimera. Here, hold on, real quick. Just to pop it up on the screen. I mean, it's not. There's no research on this. I haven't done the research, but Japan allows half human, half animal experiments. They're trying.
Well, there you go. It's official.
They're trying.
Posted that.
Some bodybuilder guy.
No.
I had to do some research on it, but it's like this is also happening. So it's like, yeah, we could be in a golden age, but also we're trying to do stuff that like the universe has not allowed us to do yet. So is something going to blow up?
Yeah, probably.
Is something going to flood? You know,
I think the schmucks and the death cult are too clumsy, right? This is why conspiracy theorists have been able to like trail them the whole time, because they're just too fucking clumsy. So, and it's been okay up to this point because there's only been like a couple of things that they could accidentally do to kill us all, right?
Yeah.
But now we're getting to a point where it's like any one of these labs, somebody doesn't lock the door and it's like end of humanity.
Bro, my dad, oh my gosh, dude, he freaked me out so much. He was saying that, you might even brought it up for a second too. We were talking about like our ancestry, and there's like some American Indian in there, like legit, not like people claim. Like my grandma just went and looked. She's visited like some relatives, and they're like, "Oh, look, here's your grandma," and it's like
more Native American than a
tribe.
More.
Oh, way more. There's like actual tribal Indians somewhere out west. So I was like, "Oh man, you should do like an ancestry.com and see if we're like if someone alive is." Got casino rights or something, like something. He was like, oh yeah, no, I would never do that because, once the government has your particular biomarkers, the next disease is going to be able to specifically kill you.
Yep.
You.
Well, did you
see to make it just for you?
Did you see the Trump's fucking thing when he announced Project Stargate?
No, he's got Project Stargate.
Yeah, there's a new project.
Get the heck out of here, dude.
Yeah. I think he named it that just to flood the internet so that nobody finds the old Project Stargate. So go look that up. But anyways, the new Project Stargate is a $500 billion AI infrastructure.
Only half a trillion?
Yeah, $500 billion. That's it. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's only a quarter of Bitcoin's worth. But anyways, 500 billion going into AI infrastructure, and he's standing there. I think it was in the Oval Office or wherever he was at with these three schmucks, billionaire schmucks that were all like, one of them was from fucking Japan or somewhere. And he's like, "Yes, we're going to invest." That was a terrible Japanese accent.
We are going to invest
$2 trillion. But like. And then there was like all these guys, and one of the guys, I forget his name. Everybody would know his name. I can't think of it right now. He's one of these big pharma schmucks. Okay, he's talking about, listen, here's the future. We're using AI. He's saying this standing next to Trump in the Oval Office right after he signs this thing. Okay, giving all this money and this shit. He's saying, listen, here's the thing that we're doing. We're using mRNA technology, and we're using AI, and we're going to be able to do a normal blood screen on you, normal blood test. And we'll be able to find the most minute remnants of cancer cells before they even form into a tumor. And we'll know that, hey, you're starting to develop these cells for this X cancer, okay? Then we'll be able to take that, go into the lab, and in 48 hours, using mRNA technology, we'll be able to pump out a single dose of a vaccine made specifically for you for that particular cancer as like a vaccine for that cancer. That's what they're doing. Now, on the surface, sounds dope. I would love for them to be like, hey, man, looks like you're developing cells that'll turn into cancer in 20 years. You won't have to worry about that anymore. Right?
Yeah, sure, dude.
Eliminating cancer up front. Sounds good on
we
paper.
Take the first layer of that onion off, and all of a sudden, hey, man, we came up with a SARS-CoV-2 that'll only kill you.
But the point of me bringing this up is they do have the technology.
It'll be called SARS-CoV-U.
Yep. That's funny. They do have the technology to use your biomarkers already to develop specific pathogens and vaccines to target you. Okay.
Hey, the more.
They're building it. The more's in here.
Yeah, dude. You liked my joke. Yeah, dude. No. Heck no. I'll listen. I was going to say this before, but it kind of didn't fit, but it fits now. There's going to be a split. There's going to be the people that say, you know what? I'm siding with Earth. I'm siding with nature. It's going to be nature versus the machine. I don't want this stuff. I'll die. I don't want chemos. I don't want radiation. I don't want to bombard my body with I'll die. I don't want meat grown in a laboratory. I don't want it. I don't want it to be cold in Florida. It would be nice to not have such hot summers, but don't go and make a polar vortex. I don't want it. I want to have some land where I can grow some food and go to the local farm and get some stuff from there. And I know it's really good and delicious and it was grown. I don't want lab meat. I don't need a vaccine for you to tell me. But also I just have to trust that when the next pandemic happens, my gene was not picked to specifically be targeted. I mean, literally, they could just get a conglomerate. They already have your digital footprint. So they go, here's what Jeff is online. He is whatever they want you to be. And he does not have a high credit score. And so we also just so happen to have his DNA in the laboratory. So we can make a disease that will specifically target just him. And oops, there was an outbreak. And oops, someone ate a bat.
Yep.
Oops.
Oops.
I don't want that. I'll just die the regular way, like everyone else says. Let me just take a regular, normal death. It's going to be the most Viking thing to do, to just be like, you know what? Nah, dude. I'll battle whatever.
What? I'm developing cancer? Fuck it.
Yeah, dude. It's because that's the trade-off. And it's like, well, the trade-off's not worth it to me. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. The odds. It would require every single person to be benevolent and not malevolent. Can't have that. Rich people already ship their cancer cells overseas so they can grow some cancers and then create a cocktail to treat them for. What?
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's genius.
We've talked about like other versions of this, right? Like cloning facilities, for instance, right? Like they're not going to clone. You're not going to clone George Bush and have clone George Bush walking around. That's dumb. No, you clone George Bush 87 times so that when George Bush has a fucking liver failure, you got an extra liver, right? That
his body won't reject.
Right, and that's what they're talking about here. Same type of thing, right? Like, yeah, they're growing their own. Listen, man, when you've got the unlimited wealth and you've got access to the labs and you're the one that's actually like putting up the $12 billion to build the lab to begin with and all this type of shit, of course you're going to have a fridge in there with some fucking super awesome shit for you.
I would. Yeah, I would. In that instance where I'm in charge, I would definitely be like, yeah, dude, whatever these little white spots on my face are, cut a couple of those off. My teeth didn't grow in 100% straight, but I still didn't get braces and whatever. My jaw's whatever. This happens where my jaw disappears. Let me grow me another head so I can just.
This is what happens. And this is why you have Elon Musk, who has a kid named X. That kid is probably a fucking test tube baby. You know what I mean? They probably dialed in all the CRISPR and all the, and bam, here's this kid. I'm just picking on that kid because I just think it's funny. But
yeah, also the Ash, whatever. He's got like multiple just sign kids.
Right.
Which he comes from a line of this stuff. His father and his grandfather were both. They were both involved with the South American cult thing, I believe, and like not a cult, but like a movement.
they were all into it, and some of them were involved with some of the
Everybody's
Wonderful
name
shit,
was a
Jack
number.
Parsons shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's interesting too. This will be the last thing we could talk about because we've been going
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
But this is funny, you right? So the other night, I'm sitting there. I think it was last night, and I'm sitting there trading my meme coins and shit, and I'm watching Twitter at the same time because that's the fucking move, right? You got to watch Twitter because anything could happen in an instant. Bam, the meme coin's created. Boom, you can make $20 million. Okay, so I'm watching Twitter. Elon reposts this thing of him looking in the book. Remember the book we talked about where it prophesized Elon Musk?
Oh yeah.
And it says
Oh
like
yeah.
a man named Elon will
Yeah.
rule Mars or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Well, Elon Musk posted this and he's like, how is this real? Right? In his post. Instantly, prophecy coin pops up in the chart. So I click on it. Right? Was that the one that I bought?
It's too fast.
I did buy that one. I made money on that one. I bought that one. Okay. I put 25 bucks in. Boom. It goes up. Boom. Took some out. Made my 25 back. Took some more out. I turned it into like 50, 60 bucks or something. I like, boom.
Nice.
Right. But it's, this is interesting to me because like the way that the internet culture, the meme culture, the money, and these people, these parasites like Elon Musk, right? These types of people that are pulling the strings behind. It's all like, I don't know. It's really weird, man. I don't even know how to explain it. Like watching it in real time go from like a post to a thing to monetary value, right? It's like, okay, there's something going on here.
Yeah, dude. He's like a dang like mystical figure.
Right.
Where like just shows up and he's like, oh, robots for your house. Here you go. I want to be in charge of a big part of the government. All right, absolutely. Oh, hey, AI. But I'm going to start my own company, and I want you to. And I'm also going to be the transportation god as well. Here, cars that drive themselves. My gift to you. It's like
Prometheus.
Yeah, dude. Who's the guy that came down with the fire?
Prometheus.
Zordon or whatever his name was. Or that's a Power Rangers guy. That was the Egghead in Power Rangers? Yeah.
What a fucking name drop, bro. Whoa. Holy shit. Remember Mr. Goo, the purple one?
Yeah, dude. Mr. Goo and friggin' what was the robot? Alpha 5?
Was Alpha 5? Was that his name?
I don't know.
But
yeah, it's just weird that, he's like the bringer of light.
Bringer of light, man. It's very Luciferian. But I don't take it literally. Like I don't think that he's the Antichrist. But I think that again, these people are playing a role. They're creating and fulfilling these prophecies.
Once we get nuked and the reset happens, the mythology of the prior age is gonna be wild, dude. He's gonna be in it.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be in it. Yes, and there was the man, Elon, who came from, Africa, the motherland.
The Book of Enoch.
Yeah, it's gonna be that, dude. It's gonna be that. There's gonna be a dang Twitter archive or some subreddit thing where it's like, it's gonna be like some ancient documents of being like, this is the man from the prior age, and he brought technology, and he brought innovation, and he wanted to go to the stars and all this. And it's going to be like, there's going to be Elonites and stuff. Follow the path of Elon. Could be.
Those cyber trucks. Hey, listen, if somebody's got a free one, I'll take it. My car's been giving me problems. The fucking headlight went out. I bought a new bulb and it doesn't work still. So I'll take a cyber truck, I guess.
They're cool.
Send it over.
I'll take a bot.
Oh, the Elon bot?
I'll take an Elon bot, dude.
Elon robots, they look cool, man. See, this is the problem. I like cool stuff. Listen,
I like cool stuff. That's all right. Well, all right. Next time, I'm going to be a father of 3.
Yep. Well, congratulations in advance on the baby. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, you might have to find a guest for the next episode, BT Dubs.
Yeah, we're gonna need a guest on the next episode. If anybody in the chat, the more old scary, anybody that's in here that wants to come on the show next week, let me know. We could do the thing. Message
Get Linda in here, dude. Let's get a watcher. Let's get a guest on the pod.
Yeah, I'm down for whatever, man.
Like an actual viewer.
And I'll try to sell you Bitcoin like always, but
you buy it and you wallet me 10%.
All right, guys, we're out.
Bye-bye.